Hello and welcome to Season 3 of CarWale's Driver Car series. And our hero today is the most powerful, the torquiest, the heaviest car that we have in this series. It is the Mercedes-Benz GLC AMG, but it is the 43 and not the 63, not that we mind. But before we get going, we have a couple of challenges at hand. As you can see, we are still at the racetrack. We're still at MIC, but rain gods have been extremely generous today, and so it's just been pouring, and we've got these huge puddles, not puddles, like ponds on the racetrack, so we'll have to slow down a little more. And because the track is completely wet and it's still raining, well, got to be a little more careful with so much firepower with us. So, but yeah, this should be an exciting car to drive. If it were dry, we probably would have enjoyed it even more, but hey, gotta take what comes our way. Now this one is a beast compared to our other drivers' cars this season. Not just in the way it looks, but courtesy the firepower it packs in. Here are some numbers to whet your appetite. Over 420 bhp of power, 500 Newton meters of gut-wrenching torque, a 0 to 100 km/h time of under 5 seconds, and a limited top speed of 250 km/h. Needless to say, if it's performance you're after, the GLC AMG 43 does check the crucial boxes. And all of this from a 4-cylinder 2-liter engine, and of course, lots of help from turbocharging. Now this is a big and heavy car, and so to cheat physics, Mercedes has given it some intelligent tech. It has 4-wheel steer to give it added agility, the brakes the size of Ferris wheels to stop all that bulk in time. The meaty tires help as well. Our cars are constantly evolving, and thankfully so is the fuel that powers them. Indian Oil XP95 is undoubtedly the perfect example of this much-needed evolution. You'll surely agree that we need more out of our cars with every passing year, so why should our expectations from fuel be any different? XP95 puts that question to rest by offering you truly intelligent petrol with 95 octane ratings, with benefits around both performance and efficiency. The cars of today are obliged to deliver greater accountability towards performance, efficiency, and emissions compliance, a seriously tough task, and this exposes their engines to highly demanding operating conditions. XP95, being a higher octane fuel, helps your engine perform to optimum levels, ensuring you an uninterrupted driving experience. There's more good news for those of you who want absolute value. XP95 reduces emissions as well, with significant reduction in carbon monoxide. It not only does your car a sizable favor, but the planet too. How's that for revolution? Now the star of this show, to a great extent, is the engine. I know it's only a 2-liter 4-cylinder unit, but it makes over 400 horsepower. And crucially, it has 500 Newton meters of torque, which is available from almost get-go. And as a result, the turn of speed is phenomenal. And it's just not the turn of speed, it's also how it lays that performance and how it makes you feel from behind the wheel that really, I think, is exciting in that way. Oopsie. Well, it has 4-wheel drive, and so you got to be a little more careful as to how you chuck it into corners. There was a little bit of understeer there. Yeah, so getting back to the engine, the way it puts down that power, it is, I wouldn't say brutal, but it's instant. And the way it connects with how you use the throttle, how you can modulate it, and the way the car responds to that throttle response, it's amazing. And plus, it sounds nice. Of course, you have all sorts of configurations that you can run. You can choose from various settings, how the engine tune should be, how your gearbox should feel, what your dampers should be doing, what your steering should do. So we've gone for the most aggressive engine setting here, and we've of course put on the exhaust. I don't know whether it's coming from the speakers or it's coming from the exhaust, but sitting inside, it feels really nice and you can feel it like through and through. So that's actually a nice feeling. You've got decent amount of revs as well, and like I said, the turn of speed for something that weighs over 2 tons is really good. Would we have liked a bigger engine with more cylinders? Yes. I mean, we're a greedy lot, we enthusiast lot. You give us more and we'd never say no to that. But even in this, guys, I mean, if you buy the 43, I don't think there's any challenge. You will enjoy it quite a bit. Now this engine is mated to a 9-speed torque converter automatic, which is something that you get in almost every Mercedes. And you can work this gearbox through these pedal shifters. They have a nice click sound to it when you use them. The feedback's fine. Nothing to write home about, but not bad at all. And it gives you enough control of what you want to do, especially on a racetrack like this. So you're not really missing something that has even tighter ratios or something that shifts quicker still. It's fine. I mean, you can enjoy this gearbox using the manual override function quite well. This is one seriously quick steering, and it's helped of course by the fact that this car has 4-wheel steer. So you can turn it. Now here we had some amount of understeer because I chucked it a little too hard, but the way it makes the car respond, especially with the rear wheel steer, it actually makes it very darty. It makes it feel a lot lighter than it is, and you don't feel like it's a big heavy car. And I think that's what you want in a sporty car. You want something that feels light, something that feels agile, and it manages to do that. The steering also feels really nice to hold. Some Alcantara here, some carbon fiber, look-alike Rio, and the way it sits, the way you can have a good driving position on this. It's a little high because it's an SUV, but the whole driving position feels right. The steering feels good. So yeah, that also is something that you will appreciate if you like driving. Now, of course, if it's an AMG, it's more an engine story, really, than I would say a handling story, especially when it's a 43 and not a full-blown one. But in this case, again, I'm coming back to the weight of this car because the way it looks and the amount of weight that it carries, but it can really go around corners. It really can. Of course, it's helped no doubt by the 4-wheel steering, but even the suspension, it really, it can get into an angry tank slapper. So there is some amount of understeer, oversteer that you need to balance, and it probably will be easier in try to predict here. At least I'm finding it a little difficult to do that, but I would still say the handling is involving, it's entertaining, it's just good fun. You have to exercise some amount of restraint, yes, because there is a lot of mass, and I mean, if you are experienced, then yes, you can like chuck it and get on the throttle and watch it come around. But you have to be a little respectful because of its weight more than anything else. So yeah, handling wise, you can feel the weight sometimes, you can feel it roll around a little, you can firm up the dampers if you want. I'm driving it in comfort so that I can get as much feel as I can. I don't really like properly stiff, hard setups. So it is a nice handling car, and along with the steering, the amount of grip. If you look at the tires on this car, they are fat, huge, and even in such wet conditions you can really throw this car around, which is amazing. You just have to be extremely angry with the throttle to get it to slip and slide and do its thing. Yeah, but yeah, it's fun. Strong brakes. We've been going around and round and round the short loop of this circuit because it's less flooded. We've been going on the brakes hard through all our pista cameras, especially braking hard for these water puddles. And the brakes are holding really well, even the amount of feel that you're getting, and you can choose to trail brake if you want to. It just allows you that sort of feel, like I said, good progression, of course lots of strong bite, and these are big brakes. And I like the fact that on a racetrack, when it's carrying so much weight and so much performance, it's still not fading. It still just stops where you want it to stop. And so yeah, very good on the brakes as well. Overall, quite impressive. Well, might be a 43, this GLC, but it's still a very, very nice car to spend time on the racetrack with. You have to, I mean, it's got the performance, so whoa, that was a little scary, but yeah. It has the performance that you can really enjoy. It is playful to a great extent, but you are playing with, let's say, I don't know, instead of playing with a puppy, you're playing with something a lot more ferocious. So you got to respect that. You got to respect the kind of space you have, the kind of grip you have, and the car you have. But man, it really does get, like I said at the start, your juice is flowing. It is a car that I would say, if you are in the luxury space, if you want something sporty, if you want something that's also a little bit practical and looks good, you got over $1 crore to spend, do that. I think this will, you'll feel like you've got a lot in terms of what you bargain for, especially if you like driving. So I've had a really good time, even though the weather's not been great. But the way it sounds, the way it handles, the way you can play with it, the way it scares you from time to time, it's been good. And thank you so much for watching. Do come back to CarWale.